Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with K Montes Art Studio, and today we have a little mini art haul, but before we jump into it, let's open up our toys. So I bought these two toys at Five Below. Five Below is a store that doesn't appear to be in every state, but if I had to compare it, it's pretty similar to Daiso for those that do have Daiso in their state. So I purchased these Kuromi figurines, and I was so excited to get the little sad one. She's so cute and so heartbroken. I think she represents me so well. She's kind of like a grumpy little emotional girl. That's what I am. If I had to describe myself, I pretty much look like this Kuromi. And I like all the other Kuromis. She's very, I don't know how to describe her. Along with that toy, I got the little metal figurine, and people are probably cringing that I'm taking them out of the box, but what's the point of getting toys if you can't open them? I personally don't like keeping boxes and quote unquote collecting the box and all that jazz. I want to be able to feel the toy. I want to be able to like see it and like pick it up every now and then. For me, I love like little cutesy sort of figurines. I do keep desk buddies. For those of you that do know, I have a few desk buddies. I also have a shelf on my art shelf dedicated to my little toy collection. I usually try to keep the toys small. And right now I do have a couple larger toys on there, like my Harry Potter train and things like that. So anyways, let's jump back into this art haul. So here we have the magic pencils, and these are the multicolor pencils that I will be drawing with today. I fell in love with those, and I'm so excited to show you that little drawing. And here we have a banana sharpener that I also purchased at Five Below. By the way, I ordered those magic pencils on Amazon, so I'll leave the link below. So this little banana sharpener is perfect. It's an electric sharpener. Of course, it had a little bit of a defect, and I had to glue back the banana peel, which you'll see shortly. But I mean, what do you expect when you go to these types of stores? Things are very low quality in these stores like Five Below. So I wasn't surprised at all, but it was still very, very functional, and it was actually pretty good. I sharpened my pencil, which you'll see shortly. I love cute things that make me happy. So I also purchased these stickers. I've been craving to cover my sketchbook with stickers. I've been obsessed with Sophie McPike, as many of you probably are also. And she makes her sketchbooks look so yummy. So I decided to buy some stickers. I hope to order some stickers from different artists. So you'll see the epic fail that happens later on. I don't know. You let me know if it's an epic fail or if I did an okay job at kind of covering my sketchbook with stickers, but I love these butt stickers. These were my favorite ones. Butts on things. I mean, who doesn't love those? So anyways, back to my sketchbook. I covered it with stickers, and I don't know, I don't love it, but it's done and there's nothing I can do. I only have a couple more pages in that sketchbook anyway, so I won't have to stare at it too much longer. It's kind of motivating me to get it done. I think I have like maybe 3 or 4 more pages, so I don't know. I do love the sketchbook itself. So the sketchbook itself is a Hanamula sketchbook watercolor paper, and it's one of my favorite types of paper. It doesn't warp as much as another type of watercolor paper that I typically use. So the cover is sort of kind of cloth-like, and this one is a horizontal landscape. So it's my favorite layout because I do a lot of landscape photos and paintings. And I love this sketchbook. So here I am covering the sketchbook with stickers, and the stickers all had kind of like a pink theme. I love my pink stuff. And these little sticker packs had so many cute sort of little schemes and different sort of groupings. Some of them were holographic, some of them were transparent, some of them have little bits of holograph in them. There were different styles, different animals. These two were in particular were Hello Kitty, or this one in particular, because I did get another one that was the kawaii style stickers. And so at this point, I was like, oh my god, I made a mistake. It's too many stickers. I don't like the way it looks. And I kind of just kept on going to see, like, maybe if I add more, I can fix it. So then I was like, well, maybe, so Sophie, she colors her books first. And I think the black was bothering me. So then I tried painting it with ink. And so that didn't work well for me. I didn't like how it was too transparent. I think moving forward, I would probably gesso it in some type of way and then paint it and then put the stickers on. But yeah, so then I accidentally got the ink on the sticker and I was like, okay, we're going for it. So I started to cover the entire book with ink, and I was like, okay, I can deal with all the stickers being a uniform magenta color. So I was a little bit satisfied, and then I realized that little edge where the strap goes, I was planning on leaving it stickerless because of the little strap that I do use all the time. But it just didn't make sense. So I added more stickers and left it be and stained it and had it just be what it is. So currently some of those stickers are uplifting, but it's okay. It's all right. It just reminds me of a moment in time. That's the point of sketchbooks. So I let it dry, and then I moved on to the sketch. I think this particular sketchbook is okay. It's not my favorite, and I will give you a sketchbook tour soon, but you'll see that I don't particularly like a lot of these paintings. So it was a good experimental sketchbook, I have to say, because I do try a lot of weird things in this sketchbook. Things that are not aesthetically pleasing, and I think that's my issue with it. I've been reading Your Brain on Art, and we really desire aesthetic things. It makes sense why aesthetic videos tend to like go viral on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and all those places. But my brain is reading this sketchbook as like not the most aesthetic to look at, and it kind of bothered me. So I just been like flipping past some of the pages and just not staring at them too much. But, you know, everyone has an ugly sketchbook. And I think this is officially my, like, sort of like good, ugly sketchbook. But this painting turned out pretty fun. I love these magic pencils. I didn't expect to love them as much. They're not as highly pigmented as I hoped, but I mean, I didn't expect much from them because they are intended to be sort of a fun sketching tool to kind of just get your brain going. It could also be the paper, sometimes different mediums read differently on certain papers. So maybe I could try these on a different type of paper that might work better. Like things like mixed media paper seem to pick up color pencils much easier. So you can see how hard I'm coloring here, that I'm like shaking the table a bit. Nothing that is terribly like out of the norm. I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to coloring with pencils because I want the saturation of color to be there. But as usual, I'm making up an imaginary landscape. I was sort of referencing a photo that I have in my living room, which is where I was sitting. So this painting, I use a reference photo from Unsplash, and I painted this a while ago, maybe 2022. And I love this painting. It lives in my living room, and it's painted with gouache. This is some of my earlier experimental stages with kind of understanding landscapes. I've been growing a lot with like observing the view, observing the depth of some of the rock formations that do happen in landscapes. This particular photo or image was a little lake and some larger stone-like mountains, and I love the division that it created to kind of capture the center path into the sunlight. So I was using that as a reference, and I really thought that some of these pencils helped to capture that sort of patchy color work that I do in the initial sketch. But I'm really progressing a lot in my growth in understanding landscapes. It's been my focus for the past 2 to 3 years. And there have been a couple of different body figures that make an appearance with my artwork. Definitely check out my website to see some of my portfolio work. And let me know if you see any progression in some of my art pieces. I don't currently have my 2024 pieces, as many of them, I should say, on my website, but let me know if you think that I'm growing. I've been trying to really hone in on like capturing the form and be more exact with some of the landscape pieces. I do want to talk a bit about my sketchbook practice and how I started sketchbooking. So, way back in maybe 2020, sorry, not 2020, actually 2013, shortly after graduating undergrad school, art school, I started to pick up my sketchbook, and I wanted to kind of have a sketchbook practice that was a bit free flowing, a bit more sort of, pensive in my thoughts, and have it be more personal. So this was ideally not a sketchbook that I would share in any sketchbook tour, and have it be, just my like personal diary. So that's how my sketchbook journey started. But long ago, when I was actually on a plein air painting friend date, I took all my art stuff with me. I was set up outside. This is when I was like really, really in deep with like practicing how to paint outside. And I was doing a lot of live painting and kind of just like still in my acrylic phase. I didn't have professional paints. I was like, like a low budget artist. And I did the best that I could to kind of have certain things, and I was still kind of finding my ground in my art practice. So anyways, long story short, that weekend my friend asked if we could paint outside because we were preparing for an art show that month, and I had to kind of come up with like a lot of painting. So we did a pop-up art show around that time. And anywho's, I was young. I was maybe in my early 20s, 24, 23-ish, I believe. I think I was probably even younger than that. I don't even know. So I had my car and I was in a Jeep, and I had kind of an old school, a little bit of an old school car, not terribly old. Anyways, so I had forgotten something from my car, and I asked my friend to go retrieve it, and he went to go get it. We came back and we were just painting. Everything was fine. Um, and when we were done, we get back into the car, drop our stuff off, and get in the car, and then we go to Chipotle. And so I go to Chipotle, and I go to reach for my bag in the back seats, and immediately realize that everything was gone. I had just stayed over my brother's house, and I had like my week's worth of clothes because I was house sitting and dog sitting. A ton of like important things that were stolen. So yes, if you haven't picked up, my car was, I'm going to put this in air quotes, broken into. It was unlocked. My car was unlocked, and my friend, when I told him to go retrieve whatever I needed, he forgot to lock the car back, and I had so many things that were stolen. One of them were my iPad mini, and I was thankful enough that like there was a person that was able to find it and turn it on and kind of message me on Facebook back when Facebook was popular. Um, and I was able to get my iPad back. So when I got my iPad back, almost like a month after the situation, I turn it on and I see that the thieves were children. When I say children, they were like between the ages of 8 and 13. And they took a picture of themselves. I never reported it. Or actually, did I report it? Yes, I think I did report it because all my things were stolen. So, like things like that were important, like my car registration, my license, my iPad. And so, long story short, all of these things were stolen, and I cared about none of them except for my sketchbook. My sketchbook was stolen along with this entire collection of things. So I lost a week's worth of clothes, which was pretty expensive because I had a lot of clothes in there. I think I had like different outfits as backup. I don't even know like the clothes that I lost. Um it was kind of chaotic. So I lost my, oh my God, so many things. Like I'm just sitting here thinking about the day. It was so crazy. So I come home crying my eyes out, like not realizing that I should have went with my friend and locked the door and, double checked to make sure things were closed. I didn't expect this to ever happen, but I also shouldn't have left my stuff in the car. I'm just kind of like low key glad that I didn't leave my art stuff in the car because I would have lost like hundreds of dollars worth of art supplies that I had brought with me. So, to take it back to the sketchbook, I started this sketchbook and it was very sort of private. It was very emotional. It was almost like a diary. And so once I lost it, I was so sad. I never wanted to sketch again. I was like, I never want to go outside and plein air paint ever again. This is all because I wanted to go painting. I was so mad at myself that I like left the car unlocked and didn't go with my friend to check. And I didn't practice my sketchbook, practice for years. That was the last time I sketched for a long time. And then I tried to pick it up again and it just wasn't sticking because it was like almost like a trauma that I had in remembering because I was doing it in the same style that I did it then. And it wasn't like interesting to me to do it anymore. And just having my sketchbook relate back to that situation wasn't a good time for me. So I stopped sketching and I like kind of like abandoned the idea of plein air painting. I had a lot of like unseen trauma with that situation around my art that was interesting to say the least. But I'm saying all of that to say that I've officially picked up my sketchbook practice in a different format, nothing like the way it used to be. I'm just kind of treating it similarly to other folks where they just make individual paintings and having them be standalones within a book that are bind together. But I really was so passionate about that sketchbook, and I might just pick it up again 10 or so years later after all of that. Yeah, that was probably the most traumatic time I've ever had with my art and art experience, and just thinking like how important it is to sketch and how one situation can like ruin your experience with art. And I'm so glad that I can say that I have my sketchbook experience back in a more positive way. And every time I sketch, every time I open my sketchbook, whether it's an ugly sketch or one that's really good, I'm happy to say that I have this practice. And being able to sketch does actually help me personally with my stress levels, with my emotions, because I am like Karomi, one day super angry and another day very sad, another day very happy. But it does help a lot to balance my feelings. So having my personal sketchbook practice almost daily, I would say. I don't sketch every day, but when I do, it's pretty often. I would say at least 5 days a week I sketch. And it's been super important for me to really keep this up because of the healing aspects that it has for me. So I hope you enjoyed that little story time. I was dying to find a perfect moment to tell that art story. And I thought, what better time to tell it than a sketchbook video? And just laugh at it now that it's been almost 10 years since that's happened. I am hoping to give you a sketchbook tour on this particular sketchbook soon. This one's a fun one. I told you it's kind of weird. It's out of my comfort zone. There's a lot of strange things in here. I'm covering up one of the pieces just to keep it a bit of a surprise so that when you do see it, it's kind of fresh and new. To give you a quick review on these magic pencils, I absolutely love them. They were so much fun, twisting and turning, getting different colors, creating like different effects. For me, I was able to do the hatch effect, which gave me more texture, more definition. At this moment, I was sketching. I had my Prisma sharpener, and then I soon realized that that was for thinner pencils. So I didn't have my sharpener. I lost it. I then later on later on I buy a new sharpener specifically for chunky pencils. So I would say the one thing that I wish I had was that sharpener so that I can maintain the sharp points, but that's my only criticism. I hope that you like this painting. I officially finished it at this point. It was so much fun to color with these magic pencils. And as always, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, and let me know what you think of my crazy art sketchbook story. And if you have any fun sketchbook stories of your own, whether they be good or bad, negative or positive. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.